Hi and welcome back to my channel Study Address. This channel is for people who want to learn Vedic astrology. I'm Payal Kullar, I'm a Vedic astrologer. I'm here to help you live your life to the fullest by understanding your stars and getting in sync with them. In this video, we will talk about Sun and Mercury conjunction, which is also known as Budhaditya Yoga in Vedic astrology. Now, before we do that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Also like and share this video. This will encourage me to make more content for you on this channel. Now, the Sun-Mercury conjunction is basically a very powerful conjunction, but it is seen in almost 60-70% of charts. So, does it mean that in all charts it will give similar results? Generally, when we talk about Sun and Mercury conjunction, the general implications are known to be positive. So, for example, quick thinking, or very good wit, good at communication, authoritative communication style, very good learner. All of these things are seen when we talk about Sun and Mercury conjunction. But is it true that all 60-70% of the charts in which Sun and Mercury conjunction is seen will have these results? So the answer, as you probably already know, is no. In all charts where we see Sun and Mercury conjunction, Budhaditya Yoga, as we call in Vedic astrology, is not seen, or the effects basically will not be the same. In some charts it will be very good, in some charts it will be okay type, and in some charts it will actually not be good. So would you like to know how Sun Mercury conjunction, if it is present in your chart, is behaving? If it is very positive, if it is mildly positive, or if it is sort of negative? If you want to know, comment down your birth details. I will look into your chart and answer this question for you as quickly as I can. If you have asked me a question related to your birth chart in a previous video, and if, for instance, I have not replied, I would like to apologize, and I would suggest you type your question again on this video, and I will try my best to look into any pending questions as quickly as I can. In this video, as I said, we will talk about Sun and Mercury conjunction in your birth chart and how it affects different people differently. What are the basic things that you have to look for to understand this conjunction better in your chart? Because for all people, this conjunction will behave very differently. So many people, as I said, have this conjunction in their chart and they do not see the results. So let's understand in what circumstances and in what conditions basically in your birth chart, when they are fulfilled, you will see these results. We will discuss the perspectives from both Bhrigu Nandi Nadi and Parashari Jyotish in this video. We will focus more on Parashari Jyotish, but we will also touch basics of Bhrigu Nandi Nadi in this video. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, let's discuss the general effects. Sun, as we know, is the self, the soul, the authority figures in your life, especially your father. It is also your vitality, your authority, your ability to be the center of attention in everyone's life. Mercury, on the other hand, is your logical ability, your communication style, your wit, your humor, how much youth you have. Mercury is also your learning ability. As per Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, Sun is often known as the father, obviously, but also the teacher. Sun basically is known as the king of all planets, and Mercury is known as the prince of the planets. As per Bhrigu Nandi Nadi, Sun, as I said, is your father figure, your teacher figure in your life as well, and Mercury represents the student or the younger siblings as well. When you have Sun and Mercury conjunction anywhere placed in your chart, these energies will tend to blend. So how will the results, the general results be? So Sun represents, as I said, authority and yourself, your ego. And Mercury represents your communication style, your learning, your analytical abilities, etc. So when these energies blend, you get somebody who is very good at communication, somebody potentially who has a very authoritative style of communication. Also, somebody who is good learner, who has a wit, and somebody who is very youthful in appearance. This combination is also generally good for health and vitality, also supports a good nervous system, but obviously not in all charts. This combination, when it is positive, also promotes somebody who has a very high IQ, somebody who's very good with communication, somebody who is very good at maintaining relationships with authority figures. This combination also supports good reasoning abilities, gives the native a good memory and intellect. People who have this conjunction placed positively in their birth chart could be good thinkers, could be very good writers. This can also promote a career in journalism or editing, analysis, and related fields. So basically, with this conjunction, if it is positive in your birth chart, you get the best of Sun and Mercury in your birth chart. Now, how do we say that this conjunction is positive or negative, or mildly negative or positive in your birth chart? We have to look at a few things. So first of all, what house rulership is there for Sun and Mercury in your birth chart? If Sun, for example, or Mercury is the ruler of your lagna, then this combination is good. This means that, let's say, Sun rules your first house, you are a Leo ascendant, and or you are a Gemini or Virgo ascendant, and then this combination occurs in your birth chart. This would describe somebody whose soul or whose identity is all about good expression and powerful expression. With Mercury as the Lagna Lord, this could describe somebody whose core personality is to have a very sharp and clear communication and communication that can be very impactful. The other thing that one has to look for is the sign placement in which this conjunction will occur. So for example, if this conjunction occurs in the sign of Leo or Aries, basically the signs in which Sun expresses its most powerful energy, then this conjunction will gravitate towards authority and leadership qualities in the individual. The person's communication style could be very commanding. They could gain a lot of public respect and public position, high status, because of how they communicate, how they express themselves. It's also possible that in their professional environment, they gain a lot of success because of their very attractive or very persuasive communication style. Now, if the conjunction happens in a sign which is friendlier for Mercury, so Gemini or Virgo, then this person will obviously get support of their communication style from Sun. So there will be a lot of charm and charisma in their communication style, although it might not exactly gravitate towards being authoritative in nature. However, still this conjunction will be very powerful. The person's speaking or thinking style would be very clear, would lack any kind of confusion or weakness. Another generic result that could happen when the conjunction happens in a sign which is friendly for Mercury is that the person could be very quick thinker, could be very good learner, could have a very sharp and clear communication style. The person could also be very, very intelligent. And the person could be very youthful in appearance. Also, obviously, the exact nakshatra and the degree has to be, looked at, but these would be the general results. Now, let's talk about some instances where this conjunction would be super powerful in your birth chart. As I said, this conjunction would be positive if the house rulership of Sun on Mercury is, let's say, your lagna. But if it's a Kendra house, then that becomes equally powerful as well. However, if, let's say, the house rulership is a Kendra house, like 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th, and the conjunction happens in a Trikona house, so let's say the 5th, 9th or the 1st house, then this conjunction becomes extra powerful in your birth chart. Other significant houses where this conjunction could be very powerful is the 2nd house and the 11th house. As per Parashari Jyotish, the 3rd house is also important for this conjunction. So basically, if I have to sum up, if the conjunction is happening in a Kendra house or in a Trikona house, it is extra powerful. If it is happening in the 2nd house, 3rd house or 11th house, that is significant as well. The second thing to look for is the house rulership of Sun and Mercury. If the conjunction is happening in a positive house and the house rulership of Sun and Mercury in your birth chart is also powerful. So for example, if Sun rules a Kendra house or a Trikona house in your birth chart, or if Mercury rules a again a Kendra house or a Trikona house, then this conjunction becomes very important. Also, if Sun and Mercury are Yoga Karka planets in your birth chart, so for example, for Gemini ascendant, Mercury is a Yoga Karka planet because it rules the first house and the fourth house. So in such a situation, if the house rulership is good, if the house placement of this conjunction is good, and also if the sign placement is good, it's basically if it is happening in a sign where Sun or Mercury is exalted, or if it is in a friendly sign, then basically if all of these things happen, then this conjunction becomes super powerful in your birth chart. The other layer to look for is aspect through a benefic or a malefic. So let's say this conjunction is happening in overall in a good sign, in a good house, and the rulership of the house for Sun and Mercury is also good. And on top of that, if a benefic like Venus or Jupiter also aspects the house in which this conjunction is happening, then all of the results that I told you would be fully manifested in your birth chart. So never think that a conjunction is happening in my birth chart and I'm not seeing the results. What could be the reason? Because I see a lot of YouTube videos on Sun and Mercury conjunction, and they tell you so many nice flowery things, and then that doesn't happen in a lot of charts. It doesn't happen because all of these conditions are not met. If all of these conditions are met, then you will see the actual manifestation of the Buddhaditya Yoga in your birth chart. Now, I would like to end with a few other things of importance when this conjunction is there in your birth chart. First of all, that when we say there is a conjunction happening with Sun, we say that the other planet becomes combust. So Mercury, obviously, if it is conjunct with Sun and if it is in a very close degree, so basically less than 10 degrees, it becomes combust. So if Mercury is getting combust, is it good for your birth chart? This is a very common question that people ask. So in case of Mercury, because Mercury is always very near to the Sun, combustion is not exactly as peculiar as it is for other planets in your birth chart. Mercury mostly for most people would be combust. So even if Mercury gets combust in your birth chart, it is not that bad. As per Parashari Jyotish, sometimes that this could mean that the person would be a little more irritable, or there could be some nervous issues, but these, as I said, would not be that pronounced unless there is a aspect from a malefic, or if there is any other let's say problem in the chart. So let's say the fifth house or the third house becomes problematic, then this combination would probably be more pronounced towards the negative side. But if that does not happen, if those houses otherwise are okay, then you will not see the negative results that markedly in your birth chart. The other thing is the degree of the conjunction happening in your birth chart. As per Bhrigu Nandinadi, if the conjunction is happening tightly, basically if it is happening less than 10 degrees, this conjunction becomes even more powerful and more intense. So the combustion and the degrees are important, but not as important as the house placement, the house rulership, and sign placement where this conjunction is happening in your birth chart. The final thing that I would like to add to this discussion is that you will see the actual manifestation of the results of this conjunction in your birth chart during the Dasha period of the planets involved. So for example, if you're currently running a Mahadasha or an Antardasha of Sun or Mercury in your life, then you will see the most pronounced results of this conjunction in your birth chart. And of course, the transits of slower moving planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu over this conjunction or in trine of this conjunction would be important as well. But we will leave that discussion to another video. I hope you found this video useful. If you have Sun and Mercury conjunction anywhere in your birth chart, just think about the things that I explained, or just comment down the birth details and I will look into your birth chart and answer any questions that you might have as quickly as I can. I'll see you in another video on starry address with another conjunction to discuss. Take care.